Okay, here we go. So let's talk about crowdfunding. And I have myself, Allison James, and Emily Bowen with me. And we're going to just keep going with our plan today. Basically, the intro is I want to show you just samples of stuff that our customers have done. And then just jump in and ask any questions you have. You can verbally ask questions, that's fine. We can go ahead and create a page, talk about the widget and the personal campaign pages. So there's a kind of two sides to this whole thing. When you talk about doing the online fundraising, there's this like a widget and a contribution page tied together, or there's taking it to that next level of the personal campaign pages where individuals have their own fundraising pages that they're creating or having created for them to raise money for an activity or an event. So those can be self-generated or pre-populated. And then we'll go through some important tips as you think about how you want to implement this. The cool thing about this is the sky's the limit, really. Just start being creative. We work with 450 United Ways and a lot of other nonprofits, and everyone comes to us with a slightly different bend on somewhat of the same idea. So we just keep taking them and morphing them to what works for you. So let's go look at some samples. Actually, I have a few screens up. We'll look at one of these, but one of the cool things is the live updating page. Now, this is something that you would tie to our texting platform. So you would need to purchase into some texting services. I can tell you that if you're just doing a singular texting event, you could actually do a one-time texting event through us for about $40. But if you keep texting going at a regular basis, then you can pay into a monthly plan if you choose to go that route. But this is a Civi CRM report. So if you're obviously familiar with our website system, our Civi CRM that runs all your donations and your contributions and your event registration, this is a report that shows the money as it's coming in with the names and the amounts, and it updates the widget on the screen as people complete their transactions. So what they had was they had everyone text SVUW to the number 313131 on their phone. That took them straight to a contribution page. They made the contribution, and in some cases it was with Apple Pay, so they put their thumbprint down and that was it. In other cases, they pulled out a credit card. Good thing with today's smartphones is a lot of credit cards are memorized into your system, or you can scan the number now and it drops it right into your phone, or your address and your name already pre-populates for you. So that's become easier and easier. They hit submit and then it updates on the screen. So those can be very engaging in a kickoff type of event. Oh, let's go look at the pages though. All right, hang on. I gotta maneuver. So my goal today, Emily, is not to click the support button on that final screen.
Just jinx yourself, you know that.
Yeah, I know. I did just jinx myself, but we're going to start making bets on that one. Like I have to do 50 push-ups or something in our virtual world. All right, here we go. So United Way of Reno County is in process right now of what's called Over the Edge. It is a rappelling activity that they're doing June 1st and 2nd. I think it is as strong support as they did last year. I know it's a second-year event for them. I think they said they were going to take a break this year and possibly revisit it in years to come. But the goal of this event is to have individuals rappel off of a 7-story building, and each rappeller has to raise $1,000 to do this, and it all benefits the United Way. So there are 2 actual sign-ups on this page. One is to sign up to be that rappeller, the person who goes off the side of the building. So they have a regular registration form. They sign up to register. Cool background. The other is to, then they turned around. They were all sent a link once they registered. So this could be a 5K. It could be a color run. It could be Spin United. It could be a dancing competition, whatever you want, where you're having them create their own fundraising page. So they're sent back a link. Their link actually looks like this because we made it say my page. And a person would be sent, they registered to rappel off the building. They're sent here to set up their personal campaign page. They create their own username and their own profile. They continue, and on the next page, they put in the words and they upload their picture and everything to build their fundraising page. Once they've completed building their fundraising page, they will have their links that they can give out to the community, and the page will automatically feed into the master list of fundraising pages, which you would find here. So here we got everyone's fundraising page got dumped into here. And, well, they got quite a few, though. So everyone's got to go out there and raise their $1,000. People are in process because this event's coming up soon. So this Queen Bee is going over the edge. She did it last year. She uploaded her picture. This is where she's at on her goal. She set her goal higher than 1,000, which was nice. So she's going to put this out in her social media and drive them here. The beauty of this, and what I truly believe is powerful for any United Way to think about, there are a lot of crowdfunding tools out there. You can use other systems that's going to cost you a lot more because this comes with your website. And two, I personally feel there's nothing better than driving folks who would never come to your website, possibly ever. They're only coming here to support the person they know, and they haven't known anything about United Way, to your website. And the value of that can be very strong because people are inquisitive. When I go to a new website that I haven't been to before, I often look around. Do I do it every time? Not all the time, but when I have a friend who's real involved in something, I might be like, oh gosh, what is this? What are they doing? And you never know when you're going to get that one person who's just going to like end up being your next best donor or a board member. So utilizing the system for the crowdfunding pages, I think, is really a cool deal. Another group doing something similar, no, I didn't go to their main page, is United Way of Greater Lorraine. They're having a adult spelling bee called Spellibrate at the end of June. So they're going to have the spelling teams are going to come and register a team. They're going to purchase their spectator tickets. And much like the other one, when they register, they're going to be sent to a link that says My Page. And they will create their personal fundraising page, create their page, and that page will automatically feed from the widget to the Spellibrate page. So these two actually are built in a fairly similar form. So a lot of times what you do is you have kind of a landing page for all of it, and then the offshoot links as people are building them and going on. I've got to pull up another page. I'm going to show you one more sample of something somewhat similar, but a little different. I think this was last night the finale of Dancing with the Stars. I think finale was last night or tonight or something. I don't know. I don't watch that one. But this is a women's domestic violence shelter in North Carolina, and they have a dancing competition every year. And the difference with this one, although there's some similarities, is instead of you going to /my page and the dancers creating their page, we actually are going to, they actually pre-created their pages for them. Okay, the sound just changed on me. I just want to I see we got Debbie joined us. Welcome, Debbie. Hopefully you can see our screen okay. And Carrie, hopefully you're still out there as well. See, you're muted. Okay, great. Welcome. So I'm just showing some crowdfunding samples. Were you there? I didn't look over a second ago. Hopefully you saw at least last one or two that I did, Debbie, with the Over the Edge or the Spellibrate. This one with Dancing Stars of Onslow County, this one was done just a little bit different on the fundraising page because they knew they have 10 participants and they know who the 10 participants are. So here's what they're doing. This event's not until October, so they kind of got a head start on it, kind of got everything set up. So here are their 10 like local celebrities who are dancing with one of the dancers from the community. So we got Mary Ann and Chris and all these guys. So they really wanted this to lay out and look a very certain way. They had these cool graphics made with all the dancers. So they created the 10 dancing pages with them, unlike the Spellibrate or the Repelling event where anybody could sign up and we don't know who's coming. So depending on what you're doing and how you're going about doing a crowdfunding event, you might choose to go ahead and create their pages for them, such as what they did here with the Women's Center and have it lined up. In fact, her page And remember this about our system. Anytime you're using our Civi CRM system, you get these really ridiculous URLs. We have Anne Marie, onslowwc.org/Anne Marie is the redirect to this page. Having those nice, easy, clean URLs so that she can just use onslowwc.org/Anne Marie in her social media and out to the community to support her. So that's what she would send out to everyone. So you can always request special URLs made for any of these. Okay. Let's see some other fundraising examples. This is a Giving Tuesday page. I know last time I was doing the crowdfunding, someone had asked about Giving Tuesday. Any kind of special fundraiser, whether it's a one-day thing like Giving Tuesday, and we have some who stretch Giving Tuesday until the end of the year, or it's a capital campaign, or it's a fundraiser for a disaster or a special need in the community or a family, whatever you might be doing. You can always use what we call a widget. And the widget can tie to any fundraising page that you have or any contribution page that you have from our Civi CRM system. Now remember that in order to be able to use this widget and to be able to use the personal campaign pages, you must have an active payment processor in our Civi CRM system. If I go to your website and I click donate and it takes me to Truist or takes me externally to another tool, you are not currently configured to do these pieces. So we would need to have a payment processor in place. Right now, the payment processor we most recommend is Stripe. But we work with authorize.net and PayPal. So just be sure to ask and double check on your payment processor. So here's an option where you can have a widget. Now, this is the cool thing about this widget. Let me show you another one just like it, kind of. Viasat. They are in, this was Meals on Wheels San Diego. The end of the year, they kicked this off on Giving Tuesday, and they had it run until the end of the year. So what they had in this case, they had a local business who adopted them for the end of the year campaign season and said, we're raising money for Meals on Wheels San Diego. So that widget was made. Notice it's a different size. So widgets can actually be bigger and smaller and have different color backgrounds, and you can put a logo in it like this. You can do some stuff with it. Here's what's cool about the widget. We call this a widget. It is embed code. It's code. It's HTML code. What does that mean for you? It means a couple things. One, it means we're going to isolate it somewhere. So this is actually in its own block by itself so that it won't get corrupted. Two, it is exportable, meaning, have you ever been given code for something? Your Facebook feeds code, family-wise thermometers are code, different things are code, and you put it on your site. This code, this thermometer code, can be placed on someone else's website. So in this case, Viasat, I still don't know if it's Viasat or Viasat, and you tell me every time, Emily, and I still can't remember. Anyway, whoever they are, they take the code and they put it on their homepage for their website, saying, we're supporting Meals on Wheels San Diego. And it's turned off now because it's over, but this would say donate. And when people click the donate from their website, from Viasat's website, it goes to Meals on Wheels San Diego. And then when the transaction processes, guess what happens? It sends them, it updates the widget, and the widget's automatic because it's code. So that is a cool feature about online fundraising. I always think, if you get your local newspaper involved with some kind of campaign or got something going special that you have at a radio station or something like that where they have a widget that ties to you for, a short-term push for something, that can be really powerful because people love to see these things update. Okay. Some other stuff. Of course, we have had our share of disasters out there. This is Capital Area United Way in Louisiana. It just would need to be reset. This did have dollars associated with it at one time, but flooding, disasters, actually put the thermometer on the page with the contribution page so they could see it happen. That's an option. Having simple URLs, I believe this one's /flood. Here's another one. This one's interesting. It's actually good for anybody to know about. I just helped another organization do this. Notice some things about this page. This page, this is Center County United Way, and they are in the same town as AccuWeather. And AccuWeather wanted to have a donation page to support United Ways, but they needed their name and logo off the top. So we actually removed the header and the footer from this contribution page. And there have been other reasons that I've seen groups do that. I've seen United Ways do it for like their state combined campaign or a different campaign that they're running where they're representing maybe a multitude of other nonprofits and organizations, and they just need it not to just have their name. So interesting side note is our team can remove a footer and header if you needed it to. Cool background and feature something for that. Okay. Also, since I kind of got on a disaster roll, I started roll my disaster ones up. United Way of Genesee County, which is where Flint, Michigan is located, and we've seen literally millions of dollars run through this site since this disaster hit a couple years ago. They have a special, and I'm pretty sure this was custom programming, put a special message on the top to go straight to the flood, the fund, the water fund, not flood. They've had so many personal campaign pages here too. So they've had musical groups have campaign pages, and politicians and businesses all raising money for victims. And some of them, they even had like, I think it was an oil company that was raising money specifically for victims within their company, and United Way was helping to coordinate that for them. So for people within their company who had the issues and helping certain folks out. We've seen this go a bunch of different ways. Okay, here's a live updating page. Not doing anything right now because it's way over. See how that circle's running around, and that's it just trying to update itself. We were just looking at this when we were looking at screens a minute ago, that this is utilizing our texting system. So buy into our texting platform, $40 for a one-time event, or you can work on doing a monthly kind of deal. But they were texting meals to 313131, and their name would hit the list and the dollars would update. And this is actually a Civi CRM report. So just to know that this can be set up this way. So what this means is you're at your annual kickoff, you're at your annual meeting, and you have this screen up with a projector, and you're telling people to go ahead and do this, and then as their names come in, it just updates automatically for you. So this can be very engaging in the moment. So I looked at them. Oh, I thought this was just a clever idea, and I've seen a few different versions of this. Wayne Stevens, our buddy, he's the CEO of United Way of Southeast Alaska, and last summer he turned 60. So he had a no-party birthday bash and asked for, 65, asked for gifts of $65 for his birthday to United Way, which I thought was clever. We have seen groups do this in lieu of presents for birthdays, for anniversaries. We've seen people give out holiday gifts this way. So Christmas presents is a donation to this nonprofit, or even wedding in lieu of wedding presents. And now that's all a matter of getting out to your community and getting your passionate supporters and letting people know that this is possible. Hey, for your next party that you don't want gifts to and you want to do a charitable contribution, you know, since Facebook started doing that, they've seen such a trend of people choosing Facebook every time, you know, hey, it's your birthday. Do you want to have people give to a nonprofit? Why don't you set that up? Well, some people do. I've seen them. But this is something that can be done as well. So thinking through that. Okay. So those were my samples that I had up on my screen to show. I was going to go through a little bit of process of setting some stuff up. But before I do that, Miss Emily, if you are floating around out there, I don't know if you set anything up out on your screen that you wanted to share.
I have not yet. You were sharing all the things that I was going to go over. So.
Well, there you go. Did I take something away from you?
No.
Okay. Well, Debbie and Carrie, how are we doing? Is there anything along those lines that has been shown that triggered anything for you that you're real interested in? And I will go through and do a little bit of ideas on creation. Okay. I'll watch for that coming in. Okay. So I am logged into my demo site, and yes, individuals can set up the campaign pages, the personal campaign pages. So let me just show that one more time. I'll explain it, and then we'll look at that here. So those are called crowdfunding pages or peer-to-peer fundraising or personal campaign pages. That's definitely an attribute and a part of the system that it comes with your website. You guys all have this capability right now. It's whether or not you set it up and you get it going. So let's take a look at the two scenarios that I really have built out here. One being this repelling event, the over the edge. In their case, what they're doing, and this is how a lot of times the ones where people are creating their own, it's tied to something. It doesn't have to be though. What they're saying is sign up for the event. Same with the spelling team, sign up for the spelling team event. If you sign up for the event, we also want you to fundraise. In the spelling event, what it is the team, if they raise so much money, they get like, kind of like earn favors in the game, they call it, like they earn mulligans, like you get a buy on missing a word or whatever. So the more money you raise, the more opportunities you have at winning. So in this case, for the over the edge, they want them to, each participant to raise $1,000. So what happens is someone comes through and they sign up for the event. When they finish their registration, they pay it. The email that they get afterwards and the landing page that they get afterwards includes a link that says, now create your fundraising page, which is set up for them at /my page. The person creates their username, creates a profile, and then the next page, they build their page. They put the words and the different stuff, and then they have their link, and it automatically populates in the system. So maybe they don't have to sign up for an event first. Maybe you simply start here and you go create your page. I will tell you this, we've seen a lot of crowdfunding pages. I've seen some be successful and not so successful. If you're thinking of doing an online fundraising competition or event where you want people to create their own pages, the birthday thing's nice and some of that stuff is nice. The ones that do the best are the ones that have some kind of competition going on. Oh, I forgot another one. Let me show you another one I forgot about. Actually, I thought this one would bring in more, but it got a lot of interest stirred, that's for sure. United Way of Grayson County had one of the oldest high school rivalries goes on in their community in Texas. So it's the Yellow Jackets versus the Bearcats, the big game. And at the big game, there were two text-in codes, one that would bring you to a donation page for the Bearcats and one that would bring you to a donation page for the Yellow Jackets. And whichever team raised more money for United Way was getting something, or the other coach, they were talking about doing a pie in the face. I don't know if they did that or not. But anything that's competitive of nature, they're going to do it again. They're going to promote it more. They kind of sprung it on everyone last minute. But where you could have something like that where it's competition and it's a short-lived thing, it didn't last a long time, they were able to give announcements on how it was doing. It's not raise as much as they were hoping for, but the concept is a good one. So anything that's competitive, if you're thinking of doing those crowdfunding pages, is the what does the best. This dancing event that these guys do, this one raises over $80,000 a year, much of it online, and it is a pretty small community. So this is a huge fundraiser for them. And in this case, unlike the other one where people were going to my page and creating pages, these guys actually created the pages for them ahead of time. So you can do it either way. So yes, the crowdfunding pages exist. So how do I do a crowdfunding page? How do I set up that? Actually called personal campaign pages in our system. Let's take a look. Any donation page, any contribution page in our system has the ability to have some features turned on. So just taking a look at this. You have a donation page on your website, most likely. Hopefully you're using our system. So when you go to your donation page, you actually have the ability to take this page and have a widget for this page, to have personal fundraising pages for this page, simply by turning them on. Most of the time, if you're going to do some kind of personal fundraising activity or a special event or something, you're going to actually not just use your generic donation page. You're going to create a new one and have it be very specific for that and keep the donation page separate. So let's take a look. So I'm in the City CRM area, so I'm going to go to Contribution, Manage Contribution Pages. If you're ever doing those crowdfunding pages or the personal fundraising pages or a widget, it has to be from the contributions. Use the contribution pages for it. I'm just warning you, because actually in events, and it's just a sad thing, but there is a feature in the events that allow you to turn on, we'll take a look at it real quick. It allows you to turn on the personal campaign pages, but you can't have a widget in events, and it'll ask them the same set of questions it asks them when they sign up for the event. So it is our recommendation to not create personal campaign pages. Don't turn them on in association with an event. Only do it in association with contribution pages. So those two examples I had earlier, the over the edge, the repelling one, they have the event page to sign up to be a repeller, which asks t-shirt size and asks a couple things about repelling. If I made a personal campaign page out of that, it would ask me those questions too, which is confusing. And you don't have a widget. So they have two sets of pages. They have the event registration page, and then they have the contribution page. Contribution page is going to tie to the fundraising, overall fundraising effort, and the crowdfunding personal campaign pages. So that's how you do it. So once you're in your contribution page area, as I mentioned, you can take any event that's already, or any contribution. We go to contributions, contribution, manage contribution pages, any contribution page that's already here, and you can turn on the widget and you can turn on the fundraising page. So let's take a look at my Giving Tuesday campaign. Go to title and settings. So you have several tabs through here. And when you work your way through your tabs, there's a couple things I want to point out to you. If you are going to do a widget, warning, the widget will not automatically update for the pay later option, for sending in a check. Why? Because it's not completed. So in order to have a very accurate widget and to not have your participants sitting there going, I just gave $50. Why didn't the thermometer go up? It didn't go up. Why isn't my name on the honor roll? I just gave $50. You didn't give $50. You promised to give $50. You checked pay later. You're sending in a check. Once the check arrives, you could go in and check them off, and then it would show. So because that tends to cause some unhappiness amongst your donors, which you never want to do, if you're ever going to use the widget tool or the personal campaign pages with the scrolling honor roll, I would not use the pay later option. Don't let them do that. Also, I would avoid doing things like recurring and stuff, because again, those won't show as completed transactions. Just stick with your straight dollar amounts, okay? And ultimately, you're setting it up much like you do anything else, but you're going to come down to widgets, and you're going to check Enable Widget Box to create a widget. Now, warning here, the widget code always needs a little bit of adjustment by our team. Not sure why that is, but it typically, the code just, you're going to need our assistance. So what you want to do is establish the fact that you do want to have a widget on a page, and then submit a ticket and tell them which contribution page it is that you want a widget for. So this is contribution page Giving Tuesday campaign. And I want the widget, and I want it on the side of my /Giving Tuesday page. And they'll go set that up for you. They can help you adjust the colors. So you might say, I want branded colors for my organization. They can adjust that. Okay. And then the other thing you're going to do is you're simply going to check the box to enable the personal campaign pages. That's it. So once you've enabled them, now you can require approval but it does slow down the process for sure. And I would warn you that you're going to run into a little bit of a challenge if you've got someone who's engaged and wants to do it, and then they need approval, and then they never go back and finish it. I figure you're going to see what's happening, so you're able to go ahead and disapprove someone if you needed to. But I should knock on something when I say this, we really haven't had this be a spammy issue or something where people's just gone out and created pages. So when you create the personal campaign page, you can have a message at the bottom of your contribution page saying you can create your own fundraising pages. Click here. I only do that if I'm okay with just anybody creating a page, otherwise I take the message off. At the bottom of this, once you've clicked the Enable Personal Campaign Pages, this is important because it's kind of a hidden thing. This URL link is going to be the link that you're going to be setting out in the community for people to create their page. So there's my Giving Tuesday one. Create your profile page for Giving Tuesday. Now, did we set this up as my page? I would take this and turn around and submit a ticket because I really dislike these long URLs. I think she did do it. My page doesn't have the Giving Tuesday background. But you have to make sure what page it ties to. This probably ties to my general donation page. I don't recall. So I would recommend that you have some kind of shortened URL for this page link so that it's not quite so huge when you put it out there for people to click and set up their own pages. But you can have them come create their own pages. They'll get an email. They don't get login rights to your site. They simply have the ability to create a page. They can set it up so that they're notified when people make contributions, that they can see what's coming through. Now remember, did I show any of these? I guess I did. Yeah, there's the scrolling honor roll too. So there's some settings that they'll have options of doing when people create their personal campaign page, whether or not they want a scrolling honor roll, whether or not they want a goal amount to show. So if you leave them on their own to create their page, you kind of don't know what they're going to do. You do have the ability to go into your site and edit anybody's page. So you will have that ability to reach out and help them as they're working on it. Let's see here. So if I come back into contributions, so once they're set up and people have started creating their pages and they're like, ooh, I need some help with my page, I need to change something, or I don't like my picture, you're going to be able to come under contributions and go to personal campaign pages and find their page. So once you find their page, that has to be Emily who built that one. You're able to click on, well, I clicked on the page to view it. Hang on, let's go back. You are able to go to the right and click on edit, and you can edit the page. So this is what the page looks like when they're building their page. These are the questions. They can give it a title, they can put in a welcome message, they can add a goal, they can check whether or not to have the thermometer, the progress bar, what their donate button name is, any kind of messaging they want. They can upload a picture, check the honor roll, notify me via email, keep it active. So you can go and deactivate it. You can go and change things once their page is started. How are we doing? Questions? Am I losing you guys?
Nope.
It's really, nope. I got a strong nope. Good. It's really not too hard of a system. It's, you know, it's just something that you need to do. And our team is here to help you. So if you have any questions at all, just let us know. I will let you know on the reports end of this, under contribution reports, the personal campaign report is actually pretty cool. You're going to be able to see if you've got something going on. You're able to see all of the pages that were created, who they were created by and for, and what's their goal and how much has come in. And so I'll set these reports up to view on a regular basis. I'll often add them to my menu and see how a campaign is going for fundraising efforts. So that can be pretty cool. And this is where the competition stuff gets cool. Like, that's why their dancing one does so well, is it's very competitive. if I'm going to participate in this dancing competition, there's only 10 people in my community who are doing it, and I don't think I'm winning the dancing trophy, but by golly, I'm going to win the fundraising trophy. They kind of go out there and they make a big effort to raise money on behalf of this organization. And so they've done very well because of that. Something to think about. Competitions will really drive it.
And the more fun the competition, like, or the more, I don't want to say like the more wacky the competition, the better it is, but the more that the participants actually enjoy or have fun with it, I feel like those ones tend to do,
right.
Or they have more attendance, I feel like.
Uh-huh.
And Debbie, no worries about, the general overview today. You can always contact me and we can get some more detailed training one-on-one together. So that way, if you have specific questions, we can always go over those together.
Yeah, and yeah, this is quite a bit of information to jump into if you haven't touched your website in a year. So please don't feel overwhelmed. But we love for you to get ideas on what people are doing, and just to fully know, you guys, this system comes with some amazing capabilities, from your event registration to your contribution pages. Think outside the box. You have someone throwing around ideas in a board meeting about, what if we did this online and set this up? Bounce it off of us. Emily and I have seen a lot, and we've been around the block or two. So just check in with us. We'll let you know. Well, and we ask each other all the time too. Yeah,
exactly. That's definitely something that I told somebody earlier today. Like, don't necessarily feel like an event has to be only used for events, or that contributions are only going to be used as contribution pages. There's a lot of wiggle room with that functionality. And of course, they can always be, very basic, but there's a lot of options and features and cool things that you can do. And sometimes we, learn about cool functionality or other things because our wonderful customers ask and say, hey, can we do this? And we go, wait, well, we haven't done it before, but maybe we can find out how. So always feel free to ask.
It's all possible. All right, cool. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go back to my PowerPoint and my final tips. Yeah, we're closing up. Unless there was anything else. Emily, is there anything I'm missing? Okay, cool. All right, well, let's give you some pointers as we wind this one down, and please type in any questions you might have. So just some thoughts for you. If you're going to do the personal fundraising pages or you want the widget, you do need to use the contribution page in CiviCRM, so keep that in mind. I know I pointed out events has the ability to do the other pages, but it's better doing contributions. Oh, this is important. So I was kind of showing you that page where someone can create their own login, like /my-page, and build if you set up that special URL, and build that fundraising page. So let's just say someone calls you and says, hey, help me out, I want to do this. And you go, okay, sure, I'll set it up for you. You can set it up for them, but do not be logged in. Make sure you log out of your site and you can start building those pages for someone. In fact, if you build them like Dancing Event did for all of their participants, they were not logged in when they started building them, and they actually did the bare minimum and then logged in and hit edit and finished it from the inside. The reason is because if you are logged in, it's tagged it to you, and it will be you that's raising the money because it sees you as logged in. So make sure you're not logged in. If you're just ever unsure, just ask. If you're going to start building pages for people, you might want to just check in with Emily and I, because that can really send you off track quick. The widget, as I mentioned, it's code. It's isolated code. It's got to be by itself. You will need help from our support team. Submit a ticket, and we will assist you with that. We can change the colors on the widget and some of that. Any layout issues. So if you create a fundraising page or the personal campaign pages, sometimes they lay out, because if you were like in an older design with us and you've gone through an upgrade, to one of our newer website designs. It's possible like the layout of your personal campaign page is still the old layout from the old design because we didn't dig that deep and readjust that. Sometimes things like that will have like, you'll be like, oh, that doesn't really fit the space. We can always fix them. We don't charge you for any of that. We will fix them. Just go through and check the layout. We're finding with upgrades sometimes the old layout's still in place. So consider doing texting, like the live updating page or their own text link for personal fundraising pages. Those can be set up as well. Could be a really cool way of whoever's raising money for you to be able to tell someone, hey, text us to this. They will still have to click the link and give the money. It's not like they text their name and boom, they gave $10. There's still a process with texting to give money. They have to click the link. They either have to do Apple Pay with their thumbprint, they have to put in their credit card, but they can do it from their phone. In that area, my friends, it's just going to grow and grow and grow and grow. Don't forget with any of those Civvy CRM pages, such as that page to create your login /my page, request this nice URL, or for the page itself, or like for the person's page, like /Anne-Marie. Always put those tickets in. Our team will take care of that. Support site, I didn't click it. Support site, our support team's here to help you, so submit a ticket about anything. And if this was like ridiculously overwhelming and you thought, oh goodness gracious, I do not want to even try and attempt this. I need 10 fundraising pages created for this, and I want a widget for this, and I need this for this. Here, one each, you build it for me. We are happy to do that for you. We call that site maintenance, and you can purchase time from us and just send your requests and we'll do it. And that is fine. We realize not everybody gets a kick out of doing the stuff the way Emily and I do. We're just very unique that way. For some reason, we think it's fun. I'm not sure why sometimes. And then most time it is.
Debbie is perfect. She likes that option. She said, if you need it, they will build it. We are very field like your website. It'd be like form of dreams.
Yeah.
Field of dreams.
Yep. Field of dreams.
Exactly.
Build it. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. We get that. We get that not everyone geeks out on doing this stuff and thinks this is fun. Let me figure this out and teach me, and I want to do it.
Not everybody has the time as well. I mean, sometimes it might take you like a couple of hours at least to like learn the concepts and like make those adjustments. And, you know, instead you can say, hey, I want somebody else to do that. It might only take us an hour or two to do for you, but all of the steps would be done. And then you can always copy it or clone it for like next year's use or for other uses as well. So that way, you know, you don't have to create it from scratch off the bat.
There you go. Well, we have come to the end of our webinar 10 minutes early. I always love when I run ahead of schedule. No, it doesn't usually happen. So we are here. If you have any questions, if you'd like to have time back in your day, it's yours to have. We have recorded this, and we'll send this recording out as well as the presentation deck. Just holler if you need anything or anything at all. You are most welcome, Carrie and the intern, not to be named.
Unnamed intern.
Unnamed
as
intern.
well as Debbie.
And Debbie. Thank you, Debbie.
Yes, the recording, you'll get the audio and the visual of today's recording, Debbie.
And all of our funny comments are on there too.
Yeah, so you'll get to listen to all of that fun stuff all over again.
Bonus material, let's just call it that. All right, you guys, have a great day. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Miss Emily.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much. Right. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye.